Who in here is very tired of people flexing their fancy watches, their Lamborghinis, their lavish vacations? That's not the type of content that you want to watch, right? And so for us, it's about how do we actually tell our own respective stories. All of my experts in here, the issue with what you guys are doing with your content is saying, hey guys, I'm a multimillionaire, I'm so great, you should be like me. What I want you guys to realize is that your problems are the human common denominator between all of us. Every single one of us, we've had anxiety, had insecurities, felt imposter syndrome. Start with problem, give the payoff, but this medium, this is your solution.
You know, the team had written out notes for me for this specific intro, but I want to take a quick second to speak from my heart because this idea of being the niche is one that is so personal to me. I remember when I was one of the earliest adopters of this phenomenon, I went public with that sentiment probably 5.5 years ago. And at that period, the general consensus was that I was completely wrong, that I had no idea what I was talking about, that it was impossible to grow an audience this way, to build a sustainable business this way. And in the last 2 years, something wonderful has transpired. We have the Gary Vees of the world, the Hormozis of the world, publicly backing the sentiment of being the niche. And now we're seeing that the general consensus is also shifting this way. The reason why that fires me up is because at my core, I truly believe that no matter who you are, no matter what walk or stage of life that you're coming in from, no matter what experience or skill level that you have, that you too can build a very powerful personal brand that leaves an impact that goes beyond you. And people are waking up to the fact that this idea of a personal brand is not something just for the short term that we want to milk, but it is the opportunity in the digital age that we live in. So knowing that we can build it the right way with the fundamental understanding that we are the niche, that we can live and breathe our content is core to who I am. It's core to my message. Then it's also important that you're not just creating about everything and anything at any given period of time. You still need focus. You still need content strategy. And my framework called the Creative Vision is going to give you that. All I ask is that you sit back, relax, watch this video, enjoy the full breakdown, and then fill out the framework for yourself so that you can start making content the right way.
This is the big question that I constantly get asked. Every single one of you, if you knew the answer to this question, I guarantee you would win. How do I know this? Because I've helped creators, working professionals, I've helped agency owners, I've helped anyone and everyone of all ages and demographics with the framework that I'm about to provide to you right now. It's the answer to what do I post? First, starting off with, what does everyone else say in the industry? When I put these up, there's gonna be 3 bubbles. Can you tell me, with your hands up, if you've ever heard someone say this to you? Number 1, you need to pick a niche. And keep those hands raised. Focus on just one thing. Niching down is the only way to grow. Almost every single one of you have put your hands up. There are problems to sticking with just one niche. Problem number 1, I guarantee the person that you are today will not be the exact same person 6 months down the line. I guarantee it certainly won't be the same person 6 years down the line. What's the point of you building into something to then know in 6 months or in 6 years when you post about a different interest that no one will engage? Remind me again with those hands up who had traditionally niched down, now you're trying to pivot your content and you're realizing how difficult it is to re-engage your audience. That is a very, very normal experience. Problem number 2, being boxed into one topic will limit your creativity. You saw it in that intro video, but for me, I started off with fashion and fitness content, thinking that was the cool thing to do. Probably a lot of us have done that. And then ultimately, I was able to stumble into studying content, but it's only because I allowed myself to roam. You don't need a niche, you are the niche. Now, I've always dreamt of this moment, so please do this with me. But I fundamentally believe that we are all the niche. So to make my dream come true, could we all, when I count us down at 3, say, I am the niche? Again, I've dreamt of this moment, so please, we've even made merch that says I am the niche. So in 3, okay, 1, 2, 3. I think we can do better than that. Let's do it one more time. Come on, this is a dream come true for me. We paid a lot of money to be here. 1, 2, 3. And that's the energy that I'm gonna expect from all of you throughout today. You are not a fitness creator. You are not a fashion creator. You are not a travel creator. You are not a tech creator. You're not a beauty creator. You, my friends, are the niche. Yes. And I believe when you are the niche, you actually build a personal brand. A personal brand is your public reputation. It is the mix of what you say, who you say it to, and why it matters to you. That's why I developed this framework called the Creator Vision. This framework reads what, who, and why. This first branch, the what, is what you say. Ultimately, this is going to have your message, and I'm going to give you 3 content pillars to walk away here with: skills, perspective, and lifestyle. Your who is the target avatar, who you're addressing on the opposing side of the screen. We're going to go over demographic and psychographic, and why. Any big storytellers in here? Who knows that storytelling content is the way to do this thing? Yes, we're going to actually run through exactly my own framework for it, and I promise you, you'll all walk away with a game plan for you. So let's go into step 1. What is your message? What is your message? It's your ethos. It's your approach. It's how you view the world. It's your philosophy. Your message will show up in 3 key areas of your life: skills, perspective, and lifestyle. A message is significantly better than a traditional niche because you're not stuck in one box. Your audience becomes obsessed with you. It's easier to pivot your content as well. If you're gonna want to develop your own message, here are the 3 questions you should ask yourself. Number 1, do I have a contrarian view? Meaning, does society or does industry say something, but I say something opposing? You guys have just heard my own contrarian view. What's my contrarian view? Wow, that's a dream come true. What change do I want my audience to experience? Meaning, I know you guys just saw that video. My content, a stupid little video clip, changed my life. It did. It changed my family's life. I mean, hopefully it changes your guys' lives today because you guys are here with us, right? It all started off with a piece of content. And if I can make people feel that benefit, then I feel as though I'm doing my job. Where do people naturally turn to me for help? Individuals that are really bad at being introspective, this is a good question for yourselves to be asked. Meaning, if you can't think objectively about what you're good at, think about what do your friends and family come to you for help. For me, a lot of people come to me for personal branding, content, business, and so ultimately, that's gonna be a big part of your message. Your message is going to be your skills, where you can monetize, perspective, what unique ideas and perspectives do you hold, and lifestyle, what do you do in your daily life? This is important because all of these words we're gonna refer to in many of our keynotes and panels. So that's one for you to all recognize and remember. But let me just show you an example. My message is that personal branding is the greatest long-term asset that anyone can build. And that's why we've decided to host this event for all of you. What are my skills? Here are just a few. How to script reels, how to sell a digital product. In regards to perspective, what do I think? Why niching down is overrated. 5 content myths. How do I live my life? How do I apply my own message? I run a creator business. I'm providing for my family. But everyone, please pay attention to these 3 boxes, okay? Because I'm about to showcase to you how this all adds together. You can turn just this section of your creative vision into content ideas that are all variant, they're all differentiated, but they're aligned to you. I just told you how to script reels is underneath my skill. So here are 5 tips to write better reel scripts. Or let's say you want to combine elements and you're saying, here's 5 content myths, running a creator business, let's put a hook together. Let's debunk 5 content myths as someone running a creator business. So what we're doing is individually, all of these branches derive their own respective content ideas. Does that make sense for the group? And we're going through very simple examples, but we're going to go through some more complicated ones, and I'm actually going to ask for some volunteers who want to work with me in real time. Step 2, target avatar. Who? An avatar is the person that you're directly, your ideal person that you want your content to meet, to address, to be relevant for. So here we go. Demographic and psychographic. Demographic is who they are. These are the metrics that Instagram gives to you. This is the location, the sex, it's the occupation, it's their age range. But this is significantly more important. If you guys all look around in this room, you can probably tell that there's a ton of variance in terms of age groups, right? For me and demographics, it's kind of important, but not that important. This thing is significantly more important, right? What they struggle with, what are their desires, and ultimately being able to call to that. So here's an example of mine. In this room, we probably have a mix between 25 to 50 years old. We have entrepreneurs and creators, and my psychographic is that a lot of you experience burnout and lack of time. Is that true? Do a lot of you experience burnout and lack of time? Good, that means I hopefully read the room right. Okay. So then if I was to go to the next slide, I can showcase to you the same thing. So if you're between the ages of 25 and 30 years old and you struggle out with burnout as a creator, this is exactly what you need to do. Here are 3 ways to be more productive as an entrepreneur or a creator. Step 3, your why. This is my favorite part. If there was any branch that was the most important, especially those people that raise their hands to expert-led, the issue with your guys' expert-led content is you're starting off with your successes, and we'll break that down here in a little bit. But your story matters because this is where the deepest rapport will be, the deepest trust, the deepest connection. The moment that you allow your walls to come down, other people can see into you. Who in here is very tired of people flexing their fancy watches, their Lamborghinis, their lavish vacations? That's not the type of content that you want to watch, right? And so for us, it's about how do we actually tell our own respective stories? And here's your framework to take home today. Problem, pursuit, and payoff. I made it simple. It's called the 3 Ps. Problem is where you started. Pursuit is what you tried. Payoff is what ultimately changed. What do I mean by that? If I was to start off, let's say, for this example, with this. Hey guys, I'm a multimillionaire. I've been able to provide for my family. I'm so great, you should be like me. Yeah, you guys probably wouldn't be in here, right? But the reason why, even the intro video that you watched, which is a perfect representation of it, we talked about my own upbringing. This isn't something that I invented. Think about every icon, every athlete, every docuseries. It does the exact same thing. I grew up poor, I built a creative business, and I provided for my family. But this is important, right? Building a creative business. All of my experts in here, the issue with what you guys are doing with your content is saying, hey guys, I'm super successful, listen to me, because I'm so cool. What I want you guys to realize is that your problems are the human common denominator between all of us. Every single one of us, we've had anxiety. Every single one of us had insecurities. Every single one of us have had guilt. Every single one of us has felt imposter syndrome. Start with problem, give the payoff, but this medium, this is your solution. This medium is how you ultimately say, hey guys, this is the medium that you guys should utilize to also have this payoff too. Next one, story number 2 for me. I was very insecure when I grew up. I could have never imagined speaking in front of 300 people in the middle of New York City, but I am. Why? Because I showed up online. I was very confident in my value as a result of that. So this one's quite easy. This is how I went from growing up poor to providing for my family. Does that make sense? How each individual branch all comes up with such a variance of content ideas that all fit under the umbrella of what we call a personal brand. Does everyone see how that's very different if I called myself, let's say, a finance coach? Can everyone see how that's different if I said that I was a creator coach? Or if I said that I was a mindset creator, right? I don't believe that I am. I believe that I am me, and hopefully we can define content ideas that are all fitting of that. So again, as a reminder, your creative vision is your what, the message, skills, perspective, lifestyle, who, target avatar, demographic, and psychographic, and that why with the 3 Ps that we just had developed. But this is where it gets really cool. So here at the very bottom, these are what we call hook templates. They're idea starters. And you'll never run out of content ideas if you have the creative vision and you just have a series of hook templates that I'm about to provide to you, because the amount of permutations that you can generate is absurd. So let's try this in real time. I used to believe blank until this happened. Hook template. Cool, let me go to my creative vision. Let me work this out. All right, I used to believe blank until this happened. Okay, well, I used to believe that burnout was inevitable for entrepreneurs until I built my own creative business my way. I used to believe that providing for my family was impossible as someone that grew up poor until I started learning how to sell a digital product online. Does everyone see that? The ability for you to curate a ton of permutations with a simple creator vision and hook templates is how you generate those content ideas. Let's try another one. Success in blank has less to do with talent and more to do with blank. All right, let's try this. Success in entrepreneurs has less to do with talent and more to do with how they show up online. Success in creators has less to do with talent and more to do with how they efficiently script their reels. Does that make sense? Let's try one more. One myth I used to believe about blank is, well, actually, because my dream came true. One myth I used to believe about niching down is that everyone had to do it. But I realized that you can show up online in a different way as a creator. Does that make sense? That's really important, right? The ability for you to generate content ideas from your own creative vision. And yes, you can take a screenshot of what you see here on screen because these are hook templates that we provide for our paid clients. These are all the ones that some of the biggest creators in the world have used.